Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon Y2. I'm your host, the PokeGamer. In the last episode, we kind of finished off Reversal Mountain, made our way to Undella Town, did some sightseeing, and kind of, finished off that. So what we're going to be doing today is heading north onto Route 13, and we're going to be battling a bunch of trainers and all that other crap. But I guess I should mention that off-screen I did catch a Excadrill. This route, it's not required, but having cut and strength is very nice, and Excadrill is something that's nearby that can get both. You can get it in the Dust Clouds and Reversal Mountain, so there's that. So not to get depressing or anything, but I kind of just want to say that I hope that Robin Williams rests in peace, that he finds peace wherever he may be now. It kind of hit me pretty hard. I don't know about anyone else, but I figured I'd mention it. That he may rest in peace, and him just be at ease in death, because I know that he's going through apparently some very serious depression, and yeah. Just felt like I wanted to mention that because I know that there are a lot of people who were kind of like, they had him in their childhood, things like Jumanji, Flubber, he was in A Night at the Museum. He was in a lot of things that a lot of people are well aware of, that they can easily remember, and things like that. So I mean, I'm sure you can think of a lot of things. There's also Genie from Aladdin. Just a lot of things that you can remember him from. So again, may he rest in peace. And I hope that his family is doing well. So enough of the depressing stuff. I've been kind of depressed about it for like the past, 48 hours almost. Because it happened yesterday and we're going into today, whatever. Apparently last night some things got revealed by accident. We're going to be covering that in a few seconds. I just want to take another second to kind of mention something. Today is the 12th, which means that the villain, the Pokeball villain form, or Pokeball villain form, is supposed to end today. So I think that you're still capable of getting it today, but after today you will not be able to get it. So kind of recommend that you do that. So going back to the reveal thing, I don't know if I mentioned like some of this other shit that I think I did, I'm not entirely sure, but anyways, yeah, I think I covered that other stuff yesterday. Anyways, apparently the Korean official Pokemon website accidentally uploaded details of 2 Mega Evolutions. They translated them over on Serebii, and the reveal has been removed. However, there are screenshots of it and whatnot, so I mean it's kind of late, they're already out. The 2 Pokemon in question being Mega Audino and Mega Slowbro. Mega Slowbro apparently retains its typing because there was no information of it changing, whereas Mega Audino becomes a normal fairy type. Audino gains the ability Healer, which I think it already has, and Slowbro gets the ability Shell Armor, which is infinitely worse than, Generator. So, I mean, there's that. I also seem to remember Slowbro getting, I think, a special attack and a defense boost or something like that, as well as Audino getting a defense and a special defense boost. So Audino might be a decent Pokemon to kind of just act as, or how do I put it? There's a phrase for it and I can't think of it. But it's just going to be an excellent support type of Pokemon. With maybe like things like, or I don't think it gets aromatherapy, I think it gets like Heal Bell or something. Things like that. It's basically just going to be used for things like that. It's going to be, in some way, like another Chansey. Maybe not as good as Chansey though, maybe a little better in the defensive department, but HP wise, not so much. I really don't know what to think of them. I mean, Slowbro just looks like the shell is trying to kill it, and Audino looks like its ears turned into wings, and it got like some kind of like frilly dress to go with it or something. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of either of them, and I would never really use either of them. They're not going to be very used anyways, but and whatever. I mean, there's some interesting screenshots, of course, of it. But I mean, again, it's not something that I feel like is going to be amazing or overly used or anything, but it's definitely interesting to say the least. I also kind of want to bring this up because it is a thing. Slowbro was shown not to be against the Mega, or at least not a confirmed one yet, so this is another thing. However, Audino was paired up with 3 Pokemon that were capable of Mega Evolution. It was shown in a double battle, being teamed up with a Sceptile, and its opponents were a Combustion, which means obviously Blaziken can Mega Evolve, and a Salamence. And then there were several others where it shows her using some move against a Blaziken, so there's that as well. And then again, Slowpoke was facing off against the Slacking, so we might see a Mega Slacking, we might see a Mega Shiftry, and a Mega Torchic in the future. Just kind of putting that out there. This was an accidental leak, so obviously it's not like everything's going to go in order, but something to kind of keep in mind, because, you know, just ignoring it is not a very good idea. So I don't know about everyone else, but it just seems like you shouldn't be, you know, just going, oh hey, yeah, you know, just completely ignore it. It's not a good idea. Let me see here. Lopunny was facing off against Sableye. I'm trying to see what all other ones there were that I can remember. Salamence was up against Torchic, which leaves something, or Altaria against, you know, Shiftry. So there was that. Those are the 3 Pokemon that they were facing off against. I'm trying to like think back to all the Pokemon that were involved in battles, because you know, like it's going to be a thing. I mean, there has to be. It's way too convenient to be, you know, just pure coincidence. Like it can't really be just pure coincidence. It really can't be. I mean, I suppose I could be wrong, but like when you think about it, 2 Pokemon that are possibly going to be like getting Mega Evolutions are also kind of like the main Pokemon for 2 of the gym leaders. One of them being Slacking being Norman's ace, and then Torchic being Flannery's ace. So it might become very possible that gym leaders are going to receive Mega Evolutions this time around. And if you think about it, Altaria was Winona's ace. So, I mean, there's that. I'm not sure like what other Pokemon were their aces. Probably had, well, I think it'll be like the later part if they do this, because it'd be kind of stupid to just give someone a Mega Evolution really early in the game. Like, what are you going to do? Mega Nose Pass? Oh wait, that thing evolves. So, like, it probably won't happen until you get to a certain point in the game where Pokemon are either, like, fully evolved or they just can't evolve. Like, Torchic, for example, like, it doesn't have an evolution. I think it'll probably start around the time that you get to Flannery, probably. Because I think, what's his name? The Electric Gym Leader, I can't remember his name for whatever reason. Watson. His ace was, I think, a Magneton. So, then again, I think he did have, I'm not sure if he had Manectric. I don't think he had Manectric, I think he had Electrike. Depending on how they, like, if they reorder the gyms to make him later in the game or not. I mean, I don't think that's going to be the case, considering they have a picture of Combustion at level 21 facing off against the Magneton. But, could be wrong. I don't know. But, I mean, like I said, it seems like it could be something that the later gym leaders and maybe even the Elite Four members all happen to have. So, it'd be kind of interesting. Like, for example, Sydney probably has Mega Shiftry because there's an image of, a Blaziken at level 55 facing off against a Shiftry in the Elite Four. So there's that. Which also could mean that we're going to have Mega Dusknoir, which would be highly welcome. And then of course Salamence being, you know, Drake's Mega. So who, like, it comes down to whether or not Daisy is going to be back or not. And what, you know, she might get. But basically so far it seems like all their aces are also basically the same. It's just that, you know, later on in life, you know, I guess Phoebe finally decided to evolve her Dusclops into a Dusknoir. So, I mean, there's that. But I mean, it seems to be all just lining up. Like, you can't really deny it. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about anyone else. This just feels way too weird and way too convenient for me. Could be wrong, though. I mean, I don't know. Oh lord, I just remembered. Glacia's ace was a Wolverine. That would be kind of annoying. And it depends on who our champion is. I'm assuming that it's going to be Steven, but we can't really disregard the fact that in Emerald, the champion was technically Wallace, and I believe his ace was Milotic. So, yeah, one can't help but wonder. Well, here's another thing that we can think about, because there was technically 2 water gym leaders. There was Wallace originally, if I remember correctly, and then in the second one he was replaced by Juan. So, I mean, it depends on who our water gym leader is going to be, assuming that we even keep one. Of course, I'm pretty sure we're going to keep one. But if Wallace is not going to be the champion, he's very likely going to be one of the gym leaders, and most likely going to be one of the later gym leaders, which means that Milotic might still have a chance of getting a Mega Evolution, assuming that all of this kind of lines up the way that we all have been talking about it. I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out. So far, a lot of this Therio type of stuff is pretty interesting. Like, it's kind of gotten my mind going about it. A lot of things to kind of hope for. Again, we still haven't had any information regarding the Friend Safari or, you know, the Safari Zone, whichever one they decide to give us. Hopefully they give us the Friend Safari, but I don't know. Well, not specifically that. I don't mind it going back to a Safari Zone, as long as we can still keep like the 2 IVs that we get, like the 2 reference IVs, and you know, things like that. But I mean, the old Safari Zone was nice, and I actually kind of miss the old Safari Zone, to be fair. But at the same time, the Friend Safari is a very reliable source to get a lot of Pokemon that didn't have their hidden abilities, or they weren't released here in America, at least, making them very difficult to get. Things like that. Things like the Generation 1 starters with their hidden abilities. Things like, what's it called? Well, there's also the Gen 6 hidden abilities, which are really nice. Being able to get them in there would be really nice as well, considering, like, in your game you'd only be able to get one of the Hoenn starters, and it'd be kind of nice to go into the Friend Safari or the Safari Zone and find either Treecko, Mudkip, or Torchic, depending on, you know, which one you already got. I mean, of course, you'd be able to find all 3 if they decided to put 1 or 2 of them in there. It'd be kind of stupid to leave one of them out. But I mean, like, it would allow you to have access to all of the other starters and their hidden abilities, which technically I don't think have ever been released in English yet. So this seems like just as good a time as ever to kind of do it, because I mean, like, sure, we're going to get the Mega starters, but we're not going to have their hidden abilities released in English just yet. I mean, yeah, it's possible to breed them now, but we still haven't had any kind of, like, official release. So, I don't know. I don't know about anyone else. I just feel like we need to get, you know... Another thing that I'm also kind of curious about is we got 2 different sets of starters in the Friend Safari. We had Generation 1 and Generation 6. So, considering the fact that Ruby, Sapphire are going to be, you know, remakes, doesn't that mean that, like, if they continue the pattern of like they did with the Friend Safari, if we're going to get 2 sets of starters, we'll probably get the starters from that game itself, being, you know, Generation, you know, 3, and then maybe we'll get another set of starters, which would be ideal if we got Generation 5 or Generation 2. But yeah, I guess I really shouldn't continue going on here because, or at least about AlphaSapphire and OmegaRuby, because look who we found. We found Cobalion, and he's not leaving, which means we can instantly battle him if we want to and capture him. But, you know, considering we only have 30 seconds left until 15 minutes, that's going to have to wait. So in the next episode, we're going to try and catch Cobalion, make our way to the next town, and hopefully we can even make our way to Ophilucid and get started on what we need to do to progress to the story. So yeah, we'll be doing that in the next episode. So if you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer signing out.